all the chips on the table. Which is funny to say it like that when there's some real frauds in this category. Yes. Game of the year, the big one.
The big one. Go ahead and read it.
Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's a two-man race.
It's Elden Ring. Race.
It's God of War. I think Ragnarok wins it because it is just more. It's about game journalists. It's about the industry. I think popularity-wise, they're pretty evenly split. I think Elden Ring maybe sells more, but it's also had some more time. I think it may ultimately just sell more, period, because of its cross-platform. But it was undeniably just a phenomenon. But I mean, God of War is built for this. It is built for this moment. These are the type of games that win these awards traditionally. Now, if God of War had faltered, if it had felt like a misstep like Horizon or too samey, I could see Elden Ring as the all-timer stepping in. But for the moment, God of War is so good. It is, I genuinely believe the first game, 2018, well, not the first game, but you know what I mean? Yes. 2018 is a 8.5 to 9 out of 10. I think there are some missteps that cause it from being far from a perfect game. This fixes so many of those. It is basically a perfect game. And I also think Elden Ring is a perfect game in how it is innovative and how it changes everything. It's just these kind of games, because it doesn't have the whimsy of a Breath of the Wild, and because it is going again, it doesn't have time on its side because it is the less fresh in our memories. I just think there's a variety of factors that over time, I genuinely believe this take, Elden Ring will be seen as the superior game. I think it is the kind of thing that kids will have nostalgia about, right? Like 16-year-olds, and like we'll feel even more old because we were here in the moment as adults. And then I'm sure people older than us will feel even older. But I think it's the kind of thing that we talk about 20 years from now, just like, holy shit, that game. Ragnarok has that, but to a lesser extent. I think some of those maybe technological things aren't as impressive. It's a really good story, but how does gameplay advance? I just think it's slightly less timeless, but I think it gets the dub here. Ragnarok.
Side note, Stray should not be nominated in this category.
Also, side note, yeah, I'm
good game.
I love the game. I love the story, but as like a whole, because I think game of the year, the whole package matters. I don't think it should be here. I also vehemently disagree with the Plague Tale Requiem being here, and I also vehemently kind of disagree with Forbidden West being here. I just think there are better games, and this feels like playing it safe on Keely's part. I do like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 being here.
Yeah, that's
fans.
That's my thing. When you say it's a race between two people here, it is.
I don't think there's any chance Xenoblade wins it, but I think it's good for them that they're here.
Exactly. It's a race between Elden Ring and God of War. Xenoblade is happy to be here, and it deserves its space on the table. It has its space on the table. We're not taking you off the table at all. You should be here. You could stay there. And I would love it if Xenoblade won. That'd be the underdog win of the night.
It would be hilarious. I wouldn't even be mad.
It would be.
I wouldn't be. Last year I was mad. Last year I was like, okay, so this is just a joke, right?
But yeah, so
it would be the equivalent of Stray won this year. Let's just be real.
Stray won this year. I'd be like, what the hell? How?
That was my feeling for last year. It Takes Two has had great mechanics, design, as far as like co-op goes. It's a gimmick game. Keely sat there. Well, I mean, not just him. I can't believe. To me, that was like, I always hate any pot shots thrown at games journalists because it's just like so tacky. But like, truly, they're missing the forest for the trees here. That was the most gutless decision by a group of writers put in a room. Well, they weren't put in a room, but as a hive mind ever, to give that lame ass game with the worst, like objectively, maybe the worst story ever handed out to a GOTY winner. Like and people are like, oh, it's about divorce. Yeah, I get it. It handles it all with the nuance of hitting someone upside the head with a hammer. It is not a good, story or narrative. His racist caricatures in it. Like, there are good aspects of the game. I platinumed it with my girlfriend. A lot of fun. Not a game of the year. Just had to get this out of the way. Absolute sham. So yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's give it to Stray. That's basically what we're doing.
Yeah,
But yeah, for real, it's God of War.
It's for real. You think it's God of War? I don't know. I'm voting God of War because I want it to be God of War. Okay. I can see this going either way though, because God of War, like you said, it is the one that is more widespread appeal. So you would have way more people playing that than Elden Ring, especially in terms of who's voting on this, who are the people that are actually voting for the winner on this. So because of that, I could see Ragnarok overtaking Elden Ring. But Elden Ring was a phenomenon that turned that
it's a cultural phenomenon. Yeah.
It was a phenomenon that had every FromSoft fan out the woodworks praising it as if it was the second coming of Jesus himself. And then it even had non-FromSoft fans who don't typically play Souls games. Some of them play it and be like, whoa, actually, I have seen the light. This is the second coming of Jesus right here. And because of that, I can also see Elden Ring edging out Ragnarok in addition to, all the innovations and new things it did for Souls games, the genre games as a whole, so on and so forth. They each have their own I guess you could say their own pros and cons. It's two masterpieces going up against one another. And it's simply a matter of how heavily does one weigh over the other. And that's what it's tough to come down to. And me saying, all right, who do I think will 100% definitely win this? I can see it going either way. I want Ragnarok. If you need me to say definitively who I think will win this,
you have to. It's the whole gimmick of the episode. Listen, man, I took a side, and it's not necessarily the side I want to win.
I'm going to say God of War. I'm going to say I think God of War wins it by a hair, maybe. By a hair.
Yeah, we obviously never see the results. I just want to point it out because I was like, what came out last year? We had Deathloop. We had Psychonauts 2. We had Ratchet and Clank. Metroid Dread. Give it to the Metroid weirdos. I don't even care, man. And we gave it to It Takes Two. Gutless. A bunch of gutless weenies. All of them. Definitely. You voted for that game, you're wrong. I'm sorry. Sure, you're a nice person, but you were wrong and a gutless weenie when it came to that call.
I forgot what I voted on for that year.
Psychonauts 2 was my game of the year last year. It's so good. And I had never played the first one before. Just really, really well done. I love 3D platformers, of course, but just the psychology. And it's just, I'm a sucker for a lot of things in that game. Give it to the big budget, glossy game, though. Give it to Ratchet and Clank. Give it to the people that love systems. Give it to the most video game. Give it to Deathloop. Give it to the Nintendo fanboys. That's fine, too. I'm fine with Metroid winning. Resident Evil Village was never winning. Let's be real.
It was
probably same with Psychonauts, but I mean, one can dream. Instead, you give it to the gimmick game. I'm mad all over again.
He is mad all over again. We'll see how mad you end up, though, at this year.
I mean,
based on who wins.
Honestly, the only game that would get me mad would probably be Plague Tale.
Interesting. I wouldn't be mad if it won. I would be surprised if it won. I'd be mad if Stray won because I'm just no.
That's how I feel about Plague Tale.
Fair enough. Those are our predictions for the nominees, though, for the winners. It's gonna be an interesting show. Interesting race. December 8th is when the show is. Looking forward to our recap episode after that.